no vacation Bible school, pool closed, summer camp canceled. Are you going crazy cooped up with the kids? Cousin Camp is coming to your rescue.
Susan Alexander Yates is an author, speaker, mother of 5, and grandmother of 21. In the current COVID-19 climate, when summer camps and pools are closed, Susan is here to help you with ideas to keep your energetic kids entertained and your family bonds strong. In her downloadable booklet, Camp at Home, 100 Practical Ideas for Families, and her latest book, Cousin Camp, Susan shares practical tips and activities, helping you have a fun-filled summer.
Please welcome to the 700 Club the creator of Cousin Camp, Susan Alexander Yates. Susan, wonderful to have you with us.
Oh, thanks. It's a privilege to be here.
Well, how did you come up with this idea for Cousin Camp? It's such a great concept.
Well, we have 5 children. They're all married, and we have 21 grandchildren. And because we live in different states, one of the desires in our family mission has always been, first, that our kids would love the Lord with all their heart, mind, and soul, and then their neighbor is ourselves. And often when we think of neighbor, it's first of all your spouse if you're married, and then your kids, and then it's your extended family. And we wanted to create a vehicle in which our cousins, our grandchildren, could know each other since they don't live in the same place. So we began a number of years ago to hold a camp in the summer. It's 4 days and 3 nights. You have to be 4 years old to come. We didn't want to deal with toddlers who weren't sleeping through the night, or wetting beds, or just kind of generally whiny. For our camp, you had to be 4 to come. And we have held this camp now for 11 summers, and it's just been one of the most extraordinary experiences of our lives. One of the special things is that parents are not allowed. And, you know, grandparents can have a great influence on their kids. And once you get rid of the parents, the kids really cooperate.
I think that's true, sadly. Well, Cousin Camp's about much more than keeping kids busy with activities, which is what we usually think of camp as. But how does it help families to form close bonds?
Well, one of the things that has been really popular for us, which surprised us, is, and we did this out of desperation, we designated a buddy system. So every year at camp, all the little people had an older buddy. And we did this because we needed help. We couldn't find the lost shoes. We couldn't fill every water bottle. So each child had an older buddy who would be their special friend for camp. And has been amazing, the bonds that has developed between kids that didn't know each other very well. About every spring, I get a call with the question from a grandchild, who's going to be my buddy this year? And so the kids have really loved it, and it's taught the older kids to reach out and care for the younger kids.
It's obvious from what you share in your book that you really have been successful in creating that bond within family. Tell us how you plan for this. I mean, you and your husband, John, spent some time praying for the children, deciding who would be buddy to who and what you wanted to see accomplished for each child. I mean, it's quite an undertaking, but I love the way that you did it.
Yeah, we think through the needs of every child coming to camp. And, you know, every year that changes because needs change, we grow. So we do a couple of things. One, we ask the question through a filter of how's this child doing and what are his needs emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and socially. Is there one 4-year-old who's going to be just emotionally really shy because it's their first time at camp and they don't even know all their cousins? So we design our program based on needs. I think often our tendency in life is to come up with a program that sounds good, but sometimes that program doesn't meet needs. So, for example, with that 4-year-old, we make sure that he sleeps in the room with his siblings because that gives him security at night. And we pack the kids in, you know, we cover floors with sleeping bags. But that is a way to meet that need. Another thing that we do is we ask the parents, tell us about your children. How do you see the gifts that this child has? Is this gift a helper? Is this gift a leader? Does this child need to be asked to initiate crafts? Is he into music or technology? Because we want to know our children. And so that's another thing that we do in preparation. And then we think through Bible studies and how we can have an attractive, a fun time in the Word each morning with all these kids, in which the kids won't be bored, but they will begin to see the pattern of how important it is to go to the Word first in the morning.
Mm-hmm. You have seen a wonderful response to all of this within your family. Can you share that? What's happened with your kids and your grandkids?
Yes, one of the things that has surprised us is the value of positive peer pressure. For example, in our first Bible study, the first morning of camp, we will share testimonies. And I have in the book, Cousin Camp, I have a whole plan for how to share the gospel. It's very clearly written out with a grandchild or with anybody. It's really with anybody. But sometimes it's easier because it's so matter of fact for grandparents to share this. And so we go through the gospel, and if a child hasn't yet received Christ, they're given the opportunity to. And there's no pressure. Sometimes they say they want to wait. But often if they say, yes, they would like to receive Christ, we ask them, well, who would you like to pray with you? And immediately all the other kids in the room's hands go up. Me, choose me. So a wonderful way to see positive peer pressure of kids that are a little bit older, and they're not embarrassed. They're not embarrassed because we present it so matter-of-factly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to say that Cousin Camp is a great book, but you also have Camp at Home, 100 Practical Ideas for Families. That's a free download. And to those of you who are with us today, for more information, just go to cbn.com. We'll direct you to all of that. The book we're talking about today is Susan's book called Cousin Camp, and it includes literally everything you need to know to start your own Cousin Camp. It's available where books are sold, and it's all about investing in your children and the generations of children in your family to come. Susan, thank you so much. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm.